Welcome to You're Too Pretty to Be Single, a weekly podcast dedicated to discovering how to become happy and whole while enjoying the single life. We'll cover topics such as mental health, trust issues, some very interesting sex topics, and so much more. Remember, we're too pretty for a lot of things, but being single isn't one of them. Hey everybody, thank you for tuning into another episode of You're Too Pretty to Be Single. This week's featured review is from Shay. It is titled, Her Voice is So Soothing, and it says, I just tuned into the first couple of episodes and OMG, Tay's voice is so soothing and she's so funny. I love it. Can't wait for more stories. Thank you, Shay. As always, please make sure you listen, subscribe, rate, review, and share, and your review may be featured next. So last week I did not have an episode, as you all know. The week before I did give you guys an update so you wouldn't kill me for leaving you hanging, but y'all know how I do, so just get used to it. Surprisingly, about 7 of you wrote me and asked me why my job was so toxic. And I definitely didn't think you guys wanted to hear that, but apparently this was way more relatable than I thought, and some of you even told me you were considering doing the same. To be honest, I'm not going to go into detail, but the job wasn't so much just toxic. It's not toxic to everyone who works there, let me put it this way. But it was very toxic for me. And one of the reasons I think so is because I knew that the only thing that was keeping me there were the people that I worked with. So I kind of had to sit down and think about, like, what are the pluses, what are the minuses? You guys know, anybody who's listened to a couple episodes, I am such a free-spirited person in all aspects of my life that I am not very good at working in corporate America, as I've learned. It's just the games. I don't like games in any situation. I don't like to play games. It's just not for me. The politics and being told what to do constantly, micromanagement, those are just things that, you can definitely... It can definitely be a benefit to you while you're younger, working in structure, understanding corporate America, and how the system is not set up for you to be successful. So I learned a lot being in that position, working with all kinds of people, but it's just not somewhere that I belong. It works for some people, but y'all, my job was just... I just can't. Like, if you really want to sit down and talk about the things that I went through or the type of job that I had and why I decided to quit, I'm more than happy to discuss that with you guys. But it's like, I'm so happy to have cut the ties and broken the chains with this company that it's not something that I want to spend my time on my podcast. So if you can relate, or if you just want to talk about my final decision, how I made that decision to actually leave, then just send me an email, text me, DM me. I want you guys to be able to feel the sense of freedom that I have. And what was crazy is last week I had a appointment with my doctor. And when I answered the phone, she was like, you are in a good mood today. Like, she was like, you're smiling. And she's like, you never smile when you come in here. So she was like, well, what's different? What's going on? So I told her I quit my job, and she said, I think your medication is going to work better than it has been, because she said that's the number one reason for depression is your place of work. We spend so much time there that it's important for you to sometimes just kind of sit back and say, how is this benefiting my life? Like, how is this improving my life? You spend so much time at work. It's like there has to be something about it that makes you a better person. I saw myself losing my light. It was something that I could look in the mirror and see my light, and I could just see it starting to dim. So I had to get out of that environment. But I'm still looking for a job, so you guys pray for me. And I know that I'll be fine, and I know that I made the absolute best decision for me and my mental health. All right, so also during the little update, I mentioned the long distance guy I met. So remember when me and my BFF talked, we were talking about long distance relationships. It came up because I had just met a guy who lived in Texas. Let me tell y'all what happened. So he lives in Texas, which was fine with me when I met him, but y'all know communication is key, even in a relationship where you guys are physically together. Well, we had only known each other for a week, and we had talked about doing a virtual date on Saturday. So I want to say we met on a Friday, and then the week went by, and then we decided Thursday, Friday that we were going to do a virtual date on Saturday. We were going to watch a movie together. That was it. Nothing crazy. Just kind of spend some time on FaceTime. Well, on that day, on Saturday at 8 p.m., we never set a time, but, I was assuming it would be between the hours of like 8 and 10. He texted me and he said, "Can we do our movie date tomorrow evening? I'm feeling real relaxing and chill today after this past week." So what he means by after this past week is that his job is pretty busy. We had FaceTimed a couple of times, but we didn't talk nearly as much as we had on the phone over the weekend. But anyway, I said, okay, that's fine, but y'all know I was annoyed because he never really felt like talking unless he felt like talking. I know that sounds crazy, but when you can't plan to meet a person physically, it requires more effort during the getting to know you stage. And even though it was very, very early, y'all, I saw those red flags when it came to communication and even making the smallest amount of time. And it's like for me, when people say, oh, it's still early, that's the perfect time for you to pay attention to those flags because they're going to turn into something. It can be a couple days, and I'm just like, if you're showing me signs that you don't know how to properly communicate, then you're a grown man. So all it's going to do is turn into something bigger or more annoying. And that's why I always say it's never too early. If you feel weird about something or you're like, okay, that was a red flag, why are you continuing to go through this? We have to trust our instincts. That is one of the things that I'm going to generalize and say that a lot of women have issues with trusting our instincts. I'm not saying that we make bad decisions in men all the time or that it's our fault that this turned into what it was. What I'm saying is at the beginning stages, we have to stop ignoring those things that make our stomach turn. So anyway, that was a red flag. If he was into me, I don't see why he would cancel a virtual date. He didn't even say that he was tired. He said he was feeling real relaxed and chill. So basically, he felt like if he got on the phone with me, he wasn't going to feel that way anymore. And I'm just like, what's more relaxing than a movie? Like, you don't even have to say shit to me. Prop your motherfucking phone up and relax your ass on FaceTime. I told him how I was feeling, and basically he said that he communicated his long weeks to me, and he said that he thinks his career may hinder him from dating because his time during the week is limited, and then he's tired, and that he does feel like his tiredness will interfere with him building relationships. Okay, gotcha. But I need y'all to know he never communicated his long weeks to me, but I'm not about to argue with a man who's not interested and doesn't have the balls to tell me so. So now you guys might wonder, okay, Taylor, it was just a week. You saw the red flags. You mentioned it. Sounds like y'all are done. What's there to tell? So let's go to Monday. So remember our date was supposed to be on Saturday. So on Monday, after this conversation occurred, I unfollowed him from Instagram because I'm just like, he's just not the one for me. It's totally fine. I also don't waste follows. So if we don't talk, if we have no relationship, if I wouldn't respond to your story, I'm probably not going to follow you on Instagram. It just seems pointless. Anyway, y'all, I unfollowed him from my personal Instagram, but not this podcast Instagram. Monday, for whatever reason, I was watching stories. I never watch y'all stories. I love stories, but I just forget to watch them. That's all. I was watching stories on my podcast Instagram, and I came across his. Y'all, why this nigga on there talking about he met a girl on Sunday? So clearly he met somebody after we had this conversation or during. And then he talks about how they're going on a date that night. So I thought you were so busy and tired and your job is going to interfere. So this is the shit I be talking about, y'all. Like, this is why I was glad I trust my instincts, because I was like, okay, clearly he's not interested. I could have said, okay, let me give him the benefit of the doubt. He might have just not felt like doing a virtual date. But no, he didn't feel like doing a virtual date with me, because now he has the time after his long day at work and he's so tired afterwards. Now he has the time to go on a date on a Monday. This is why dating is for the birds. Date yourself. No, but really, this is the shit I be going through, y'all. I have no words, but this is exactly what I be talking about. So he was just so happy about meeting this girl, going on a date. He's like, it might be another date. Like, yeah, I don't. Anyway, make sure you guys message me if you want the video of his story, because yes, I did screen record it. and I sent it to all my friends. So if y'all want it, let me know. It's really corny. I can't believe I was interested in this cornball, but it happens to the best of us. Y'all, I have been through so much in the last week, and not even really in a bad way, but just in general. To sum it up for you, I've been talking to someone who is 55 years old. He's 26 years older than me. I met a sugar daddy. I was offered a threesome with 2 men, and I went to a sex and swingers club. Like, I have not even decided how I'm going to discuss this with y'all or where to start. And I'm so sorry to leave y'all with that, but I'm still processing everything that happened last week. So whenever I get my life together and I'm able to put all of this into words, then y'all know I got y'all. All right, so this week, the single shout out goes to Alice. Alice is a 27-year-old well-spec'd healthcare representative, which means she assists people with health issues like spina bifida, multiple sclerosis, and spinal cord issues. She enjoys working out, boxing, weightlifting, and CrossFit style workouts. And trust me, y'all, she is small like me, but this chick is strong. She also enjoys doing things outdoors like hiking and kayaking. Even though she's into fitness and nutrition, she still enjoys cocktails with her BFFs when she gets the chance. Yes, girl, we need to do brunch real soon. When I asked her why she enjoys being single, she said, I've been single for most of my life. I've really only had one serious relationship. Everyone else was just too busy playing games. Exactly. For a long time, it was really lonely being single because I would place all of my worth on whether or not I was in a relationship or dating someone. I'd allow the way they treated me to dictate the way I felt about myself. I decided to stop dating in 2016 to focus on my mental health and loving myself, and it's the best decision I've ever made. It has allowed me to fully get to know myself instead of letting others dictate my decisions, and it has greatly increased my confidence. Without these past few years, I probably wouldn't have graduated from UGA. I wouldn't have found my passion for fitness or even gained the confidence to travel across the country by myself. I think that is so important to date yourself or take the time to get to know who you are before being in a serious relationship. And I'm so glad I've gotten the chance to do that. I couldn't have said that any better. That was perfect. So please make sure you guys follow the amazing Alice on Instagram. You can find her at Wanderland000. I will also make sure I post her on my Instagram at You're Too Pretty to Be Single. So as always, go and show her some listener love. If you would like to nominate someone for the single shout out, email me at you'retopretty@gmail.com and you may be next. All right, guys, so I'm going to do Ask Me Anything. Like I said, you guys have sent me a lot of questions. So randomly, I'll just pick about 2 or 3, and then I will answer them. And I do pick them at random, so make sure your questions are good and interesting. All right, the first question I picked is, why are the episodes so short? Give me more. I've had this question asked to me multiple times, but short and to the point is what my target audience likes. As you all may have noticed already, I'm not much of a talker. I am a say it and say it with meaning and kind of leave it there. I never want to give y'all any fluff, and I never will. Also, from a podcaster perspective, you all listen to my entire episodes, and I'm not going to lie, I love it. I've looked at other podcasts that are much longer, and they don't have their listeners listen to the entire thing. Like, they'll probably cut it off midway through or before it's over. Statistically speaking, longer episodes don't usually get completed, so I want y'all to hear everything I have to say. So my episodes are going to remain short, and I also purposely don't talk about current events because I want anyone to be able to start my show at any time and find it completely relevant and relatable. They're like, why haven't you talked about WAP? Why haven't you talked about Jada and Will entanglement? So that's why. And the second reason why is because every podcast says what needs to be said. I don't want to just be another podcast talking about entanglements. No offense. All right, the second question is, do you want kids? No. No, I'm just kidding. Let me put it this way. I'm very logical and self-aware when it comes to the idea of having children. I don't want to have kids just to have kids. No offense. Hopefully I don't offend anybody, but people bring children into the world just because they want them. And whenever I think about kids, I think about what I am going to offer them. What am I going to teach them? How am I going to support them mentally, emotionally, and physically? Am I prepared if they have disabilities? Because I know that right now I'm selfish. I understand that you change once you actually have a child, and, you know, moms always tell me you'll never actually be ready for it. But I just think for me, there are some things that I need to consider before I just force another human being to live in this world, because it's honestly it's not the greatest situation to be in. Like, life is hard. So I want to make sure that my decision is based on the fact that if I bring a child into this world, I'll be able to give them more of me than what I'm willing to give at this current moment, if that makes sense to you guys. The last question is, where's your favorite place to shop? Girl, I haven't shopped in so long. But I was just having a conversation with my friend that now that I'm older, I'm kind of over the Fashion Novas, Boohoo's, and Shein's. And I still purchase from there, but I'm still over them. I love their clothes, but I feel like I want to redo my entire closet and purchase like 50 really nice, high quality staple pieces that I can kind of mix and match in any season and wear them anywhere. Pretty much what I'm saying is I want an adult closet with all the basic colors and then like pops of color here and there. What the fuck is that noise? Sorry. With that being said, my sis Alex, she actually introduced me to J-Lux Label, which apparently is really popular, but I live under a rock when it comes to fashion. So I've been completely obsessed lately. I purchased a piece from them. It was like a black bodysuit, turtleneck. I just want y'all to know I'm probably going to wear it like every day now. Pretty much to answer your question, I don't really have a favorite place to shop, but I am working on redoing my closet with like staple pieces that can be worn with anything. Like, I'm working on getting all the basics. So your tans, your whites, your blacks, your grays, and then probably getting like my pops of color from those Boohoo's and Shein's, because I want my staple pieces to be really high quality that I can wear for years, and then, you know, buy the cheap stuff from other places. That was a really long answer for no reason. But yeah, I love y'all, and I'll talk to y'all soon. And as y'all know, I might have an episode next week. I might not. I don't really know my life anymore in 2020. Clearly, I don't know when I'm gonna be offered a threesome or go to a sex club. So we'll see what next week looks like. I love y'all. Bye.